In Acts chapter 16, there's several significant momentous things that we need to note. First, in Acts 16, verses 11 to 40, Paul and Silas arrive in the Greek city of Philippi. We were fortunate to go to the ancient ruins of that city in our trip to Greece back in 2022, and to walk through the paths and to see the stone ruins and to know that Paul and Silas had walked these very spaces was really a remarkable experience. And in going to Philippi, now the gospel is entering Europe. Well, Paul is entering Europe with the gospel for the first time. What we now call Turkey was known as Asia Minor. So the gospel's moving west and enters Europe, Paul does for the first time. Another interesting note is that as you read through Acts, you'll see that the we passages begin here. And this may suggest that the author, who we believe was Luke, joined Paul and Silas for this time, for this part of the journey. So that's significant. And then it's also significant because we see the first convert in Europe, and that is a woman named Lydia, a remarkable woman we hear about here in Acts chapter 16. She was a worshiper of God. She was a successful businesswoman, which is pretty remarkable for the first century in Greece. She was a dealer in purple cloth, which was an upper end cloth that was for people who had money, people who were government officials, the wealthy. They're the ones who were wearing purple. And she becomes Paul's first convert in Europe. The first convert in Europe is a woman, just like the first person to hear about the resurrection was a woman. And on our trip to Greece, we went to the place which is commemorated as where Lydia was baptized, and there's a lovely little amphitheater there, almost a place where you can sit and you can baptize people in the same water, the same river that flows by there. And we had a worship service there. So she's baptized, and verse 15 is our verse for the day. When she and her household were baptized, she urged us, saying, "If you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come and stay at my home." And she prevailed upon us. Hospitality is such an important thing, and we're going to be starting a series in July on Guess Who's Coming for Dinner, and talking about some of Jesus' famous meals that we hear about in the Gospels. But here is, to me, another famous meal scene. Can you imagine being Lydia and having in your home at your dinner table, picture seated around in your dining room, the Apostle Paul, Silas, Timothy, and Luke? Wow, that's a dinner I would have liked to have had the chance to sit in on. What a powerhouse is present in the home of Lydia. It's really an amazing thing to think about. So the gospel enters Europe for the first time. Lydia is the first convert, and she immediately shows generosity, kindness, and hospitality, three hallmarks that should mark us all as Christians.